Hello guys, welcome back. In this video we will be creating our custom hooks. In previous videos we explored existing ReactJS hooks like useState, useEffect and others. I have added links to those videos in the description below. Please go through those so that the ground is set up. So in this particular video we will be creating our custom hooks. So let's get started. Alright, so I have a Hello World ReactJS project right now, and let's add few components in there. Let's add our input. So in many applications you have a login form where you input the username and the password. So let's mimic that and add two input fields. Like the first one is suppose for the username, and on change let's say we want to say that it is let's declare two use states, one for the username and one for the password, and then we can refer those values here. So use state, we can call it username and initial value to be empty, and let's copy it. No, let's use the boilerplate. Use state, we call it a password, and initial value is again empty, and let's import use state from React. Okay, so it's username, and on change let's set username to be e.target.value, and let's copy it and declare another field for the password, right? And on change we can set password, right? Save it. It has added two fields. One is for the username, and then that's for the password, right? So let's declare two our custom hooks, one for the password. So suppose we want to validate the password, and for that the custom hooks are similar to the normal functions. So let's declare a function. The convention is that we add a use word at the initial, so that the React knows that it is an hook and it applies the React hooks rules on that. The rules are that all of the states need to be at the very top level of the component, and you cannot declare them inside the if conditions of for loop or any conditional statements. So suppose let's comment on this. So suppose if you cannot do this, so if some condition, then do this. It will say that the use state is called conditionally. React hooks must be called the exact same order in every component render. So every time this component renders, it need to be at the same order. So the first hook, second hook, third hook. So you cannot say that in a for loop you cannot say that in the first render two hooks and the next render three hooks. This is not allowed in React hooks rules, right? So by using this convention, adding let's uncomment this, adding a use word in the start of the custom hook, it gives ReactJS a way that it handles like the other ReactJS hooks, right? So it is all of the ReactJS hooks are applied to that. So we can say that use password maybe, and the parameter will be the same, the initial value. We can say initial value, and here we can declare use state. So we can say password and set password, and initial state will be this initial value, right? And let's declare a useEffect, in which we will be checking whether the password is incorrect or not. So let's add a very basic validation of the password. Let's say let's add another useState. We can call it isValid, and initial value is false, and we will be setting isValid to be if the password dot length is greater than 4, suppose. And we can do any of the type of validation here, like it contains one capital letter, one small letter, and things like that. So let's do keep it simple. Let's do that. If the password length is 4, then it is valid. If it is 4 or less than 4, then it is not valid, right? And here we can return the same password and set password, and then is valid. So here we can return anything, any of the variables or anything we can return here. And here where we have to use it, instead of the use state, we will be saying use password, right, and passing in the initial value, that is empty. And also the return value is password, set password, and third variable is valid. So we can add a third variable here as well. So it is checking whether the password is valid or not. The useEffect is not yet imported from the React. Okay, and here let's add h3 and say that password is, we wanna say if it is valid, we can say valid, otherwise we can say invalid, right? So we are showing on the UI that password is valid if it is returned is valid from the custom hook, and otherwise we are saying that it is invalid, right? Let's save it. There you go. So the default password empty is invalid because its length is less than 4, I mean less than 5. Okay, so if you try typing 1 2 3 4 and 5, as soon as it is greater than 4, it is saying that password is valid, right? So you can type any string. If the length is greater than 4, it is saying valid, otherwise invalid, right? So this is the example of one custom hook, right? And here we are typing the username, right? So for the username, let's add another custom hook. So suppose if we refresh it, the username is gone. So suppose we wanna create a custom hook that it saves the username even if user refreshes it, right? So let's declare another custom hook function. The convention is same. We will say use, and then maybe we can say useStorage, right? And its parameter could be the key and maybe initial value. I'm adding key here that to make this useStorage custom hook very generic, so that we can, for now we are using is for the username. We can later on we can use it for any other input field or any other state. So suppose username, email, first name, last name, anything we can use it. So we will pass in the key and then its initial value, right? So let's declare a use state. Suppose we want to say value and its initial value, and in the useEffect and on change of the value, what we are going to do is we are going to store this value in the local storage. So we are going to set item against the key which is passed in the param, and set its value to value, right? So every time this value changes, we are storing it in the there's one break missing here. We are storing it in the local storage, right? And here initially we can fetch it from the local storage. So let's suppose we can say const saved value is equal to local storage dot get item against a key, and if it is very first time it is there's no key, no value in the local storage, we can initialize it with the initial value, right? And instead of this initial value, we can see it the saved value. If we can get it from the local storage, it will be set to that, otherwise initial value, right? And here we can return the value and the set value, right? So here instead of using the useState, we can use the useStorage, and with the initial with the key, maybe we can say that username, and then the value is empty, right? Save it. Let's refresh. Nothing is there, so let's add a user here, and if I refresh, it is still user1, refresh user, right? Anything I'm typing here, it is persisted, right? And for the password, we have it is still checking whether it is valid or invalid, right? And as said earlier that these custom hooks can be used similar to the same way we have used other existing ReactJS hooks. So we can use it multiple times. So the first was the username. Suppose we can use it for the first name. Let's declare first name, copy it, and here we can say that set first name, right? Let's declare a second name as well, second name, and set second name, right? And here we can declare a separate key for this one. And here for the inputs, let's declare few two more inputs. This one for the first name and set first name, and this is for the last name. No, it is for second name. Set second name, right? So two more fields. So suppose we can say the first name ABC, second name XYZ, and if I refresh it, you see all of these three are stored in the local storage separately, and all of three are using the same our custom hook, and there's no issue, right? And using the similar pattern, using a similar convention or similar pattern, you can declare any type of your custom hook, and there are limitless ways you can declare, and you can use it in so many scenarios, right? So that's it on exploring or creating the custom hooks. So if you have any questions, please let me know in the comments below, and if you enjoyed the video, please hit like and subscribe to my channel. See you in the next video.